Good afternoon. Welcome to another inconsistent version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your steadfast and stupendous host, Voice of Doom. Love this guy. I'm going to use a lot of his stuff in my bumper music because I love Fetus. I wasn't going to do a diatribe for a while because nothing seems to be going on, but I'll just do one of my little sarcastic recaps of just all the crap going on. I'm going to call this one Impunicity on Steroids. You all know what steroids are. Impunicity is a word I made up. It's in the Voice of Doom's very abbreviated dictionary. Very abridged. Impunicity is hypocrisy with duplicity with impunity. It's all three. I'm a hypocrite, I'm two-faced, and I do it without any fear of punishment. And that applies to our so-called government in this day and age. The examples could fill the National Archives. Now, maybe it's empty now because Orangey took all the documents, but they got an empty warehouse there now. All the impunicity could fill it all up, and they need another building. Possibly the Pentagon to have all the room to put all the examples of impunicity that we've suffered, that we've had to endure, and will continue to endure. I won't get into the details of what's been going on in the microcosm right now because this subject is going to take about 10 seconds to do. Time's going to go by real fast. Now, how is there rampant impunicity in our so-called government? Well, let's see. Today's rants on the news, since not much is blowing up in Ukraine right now, is they're asking again the same question they've been asking all year and the year before. Why are certain people being banned from the United States because they didn't get the serum while other people are allowed in by the thousands to go anywhere with anything? And no one wants to answer it. They say that's the CDC's problem, and the CDC says that's the government's problem, and the administration, they all want to say I'm not allowed to answer those questions because that belongs to another category. They do it all the time now. Or else they say it's under investigation, and they can't talk about it. Either way, they don't talk about it. Now let's talk about the impunicity of this border situation. They're shipping them to New York. Now, Abbott went through with his threat, and he's not fooling around. When he says he's going to send busloads of people to New York and D.C., he's sending busloads of people. And these impunicrits in those cities are now whining and asking for the National Guard to help them from people getting off the buses. What's the National Guard going to do? Stand there by the buses with their guns and not allow them to go through? Now, they said they wanted to be sanctuary cities. They said they had mercy for everyone on this planet. It doesn't matter your citizenship. It doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter your criminal status. We will be a sanctuary for you, like the Catholic Church was during the Spanish Inquisition. Now, sanctuary, okay, they bring them over, they don't have room for them. Where do they put them? They put them in the hotels that people don't want to stay in. The $400, $500 a night hotels that nobody's staying in because nobody wants to go to their stupid city now. I wouldn't. So they put them up in these hotels. Now they're going to be taken care of somehow. And the sanctuary city laws say no matter what your status, you will get free medical, free schooling, and free housing, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, they're getting it all free. I gotta pay through the nose. I can't even afford insurance. Forget that. I'm playing Russian roulette until I turn 65. And just praying that I don't get sick. Can't afford health insurance. My mortgage isn't that bad by comparison because I've been paying the same amount for the last 20 years. Because I was fortunate enough to get a fixed interest loan, which I never refied. Because who knows what interest rates are going to happen with these variables. But I still have to pay, and it's hard by myself. My kid helps me. My kid's actually paying half now, so it's better, but still behind. I don't get, education. I wouldn't mind a free taking a couple extension courses for free. Pay for me. But that doesn't happen. So the migrants don't have to have the serum. The migrants can have any amount of fentanyl in their socks. Whereas world-class tennis players are being used as a poster boy for why you should get the vaccine, because otherwise we'll ban you. Banning people traveling. They didn't get the serum. Banning entry into the country, but on the southern, now come on, the impunicity is obvious. Let's move on. The fibbies, the so-called Federal Bureau of Instigation and Insurrection, the Gestapo, they raid one person and cover up for another, and that's all through the news. And the fibbies in the Federal Bureau, their reputation is beyond repair. There's no way they can stay an entity. No way. If they stay an entity, forget this country. And I mean forget it. Should happen in the next month or two. They need to be gotten rid of because they are a political arm of a certain party which is corrupt to the bone. Therefore, they're corrupt to the bone. If I hear one more time, I get pissed. The rank and file, the regular FBI people are good people. Look, let's not confuse them with the leadership. No way. Don't say that again. I do not want to hear it. They're not good. This Gestapo guy's kind of friendly, so he's all right. He's part of the Gestapo. You get out of it if you have any honor. It really pisses me off when I hear him say that. The left wing is very, very concerned about keeping things classified now all of a sudden. Used to be they wanted things to be out in the open. Remember the liberals in my day, the classic liberals, which I am, believed that there shouldn't be so much secrecy. They had the Pentagon Papers leak, and people realized just how corrupt the Vietnam War was and how a lot of it was based on lies. They had the Watergate Papers leaked, and they were leaking in the Nixon. That's what started the whole damn thing. They called the guys the plumbers to fix the leaks. This whole political thing has to be rebuilt from the bottom up. You can rewrite the Constitution in a much better way. Keep the Bill of Rights. The structure with the three branches, forget that. Cut all those branches down and throw them in the wood chipper. And I'm serious about that. Don't even talk to me about the government, all we have to do is reform. When the goppers get in, they're going to change everything. They're going to get to the bottom. Don't even start with the goppers. I defy them to do one thing. One thing. Don't do anything about anything, because otherwise they'll expose everything. Alright, and the third one is Petri dish, saying that the MAGAs are fascists. When nothing could be further from the truth. The MAGAs, well, there is no MAGA. There is no such organization. It's a slogan. And if Orangey had just had the foresight to leave the again part out, there would have been none of this. But he had to say again. And that started a big brouhaha because the left said America was never great. And when you say make it great again, you're talking about bringing back slavery. Oh, God. Fascism, yeah, there's fascism out there. It's Petri dish and his entourage and the whole left wing. You better follow our dictates or you will be canceled. If you don't think correctly about minorities, that they've been trodden upon and they're oppressed, and you have to call people what they want to be called, the whole litany, let's go through my diatribe, the whole litany of fascism on the right, on the left. The hippies are turning into damn fucking Nazis. It's ridiculous. I've seen it happen. I've lived all that time. I saw it happen with my own eyes, so don't argue with me. Get tired of people thinking they know things. So this whole idea of fascism, and then if somebody like Orangey says something, they're inciting riots. Or if something like Lindsey Graham says something, he's inciting riots, he's inciting violence. But these lefties go out and actually do things. After Petri dish says they're fascists, they have the God-given right to go and destroy and vandalize places. And they'll soon be burning down cities again. So that's impunicity, just so thick you can't get out of the mire. You're just sinking in the wallowing, sinking. And I saw a video one time about a guy who jumped into a mud hole. I think the guy showed it to me, my co-worker, just so I could tell you, man. They banned it off YouTube because he died. He just kept sinking and sinking, and he had been recording himself. He put the phone up and then he jumped into the mud hole all happy, like, I'm so cool, I'm jumping into this big mud hole. And then he's waist deep in it and he's having a good old time, and then he's belly deep in it, and then he's chest deep in it, and he's totally remaining calm right up until his head goes down. He's pulling mud out of his mouth very calmly until you finally see nothing. That's us. Nobody's going to do a damn thing about it. The last impunicity, before I talk about how nobody's going to do crap, it's the anniversary of the triumphant, glorious retreat from Afghanistan, where we had overcome the adversary and we're coming back in glory. What a beautiful operation it was. So we can celebrate the 1-year anniversary of that, and saying we ended a war just in time to start stoking up another even bigger war, because there was no war in Afghanistan. He left them with a whole bunch of weapons. He pulled everybody out except for the people that had been helping us, and then he proceeded to put all our resources into another bigger war with a superpower and a independent entity, basically precipitating World War III, which will happen probably in the next 6 months or so. So impunicity, yes, we ended the war. We got out once and for all so we can stoke another war. These so-called government people, they need to be punished, and there's no punishment too good for them. So I'm just hoping the cause and effect and the karmic continuum deals with them. They will be born lifetime after lifetime in the sewer, and they will live in the sewer. Their lives will be miserable from beginning to end. So that's all I can kind of hope for. But I think you get it. Impunicity on steroids. I just wanted to get a diatribe in. I think this was kind of a good one. Topical, sarcastic, bitter, sardonic, acerbic, which is my want. So I think I can tell. I'm wide awake. I'm going to make this one of my better ones and put it on the best of Voice of Doom. So enjoy the afternoon. I'm going to have a good one. I'm going to play music tonight for tips. So that's kind of fun. Have a good afternoon.